When I was on Citius Mag with you, we kind of talked a little bit about like the Beer Mile. Could we get professional runners to do the Beer Mile, etc. And we kind of touched on like who are some of the the Beer Milers that aren't afraid to have a few beers here and there. So maybe let's just rehash that conversation here and revisit. Could we potentially see, and from your perspective, knowing all these people, do you think we could actually realistically see a Beer Mile with some pro runners in it, say like September, October timeframe, post Olympics, post Europe tour, and then again, who would be really good at it? Who are some of the, I guess, party animals of the pro runners, even though they're not truly, I don't think if you just drink in the off season, you're a party animal, but regardless, who are some of those party animals that could be contenders and would actually be willing to show up for something like that?
Yeah, so we taped our podcast in October it was.
Late October, yeah. Yep.
And this is it was still sort of like the weird period where it's like maybe we can squeeze in a Beer Mile soon, but then I think the idea was Eric Jenkins, who I've seen pound the fastest possible Smirnoff Ice. What you've said, the time the fastest chug for Smirnoff Ice, anything really is 5 seconds or less?
Yeah, maybe high fours or around 5. That's about as fast as it comes out of the bottle. So
there's a chance Eric Jenkins is right there, around those sort of times.
And we're good
for that. So I've seen him chug really fast, and so he's top of my list, possibly the guy who has a lot of potential to run a fast Beer Mile. I think you threw out Craig Engels, which I agree. He's a guy who's known to enjoy beers and runs fast. That's the perfect combination. Makes sense. Sneakily, I forget who I was talking to. Someone I think might have listened to the podcast episode we did. They said, oh no, it was Pat DeSabato, our friend. He texted us and he said, don't sleep on Johnny Rigoric as a possible good Beer Miler. And I agree. I mean, the guy's turned 349. I think if he gets slugging back pretty quick, then he'd be interesting. So I think it is very likely that we can get a professional Beer Mile on the calendar at some point in September, October of 2021 this year. What I would suggest actually is let's do it here in New York. So you guys would come out for this and we would schedule it the day after or maybe the night of Fifth Avenue Mile. What you do is sort of you take advantage of the pros being in town. That's typically when they end their season, and then add this sort of to their calendar or at least to their radar so that they know it's maybe I won't fly out on Sunday, I'll fly out on Monday or whatever it is. And so we'll find a track, we'll do it there, tell these guys to keep it kind of low-key under wraps, have everyone show up, and then just do it. I think that's the way to get the pros. The incentive really comes down to the prize purse. The prize purse has to be good, I think. I know the interest is in you competing as well, because that's honestly how the ideal one. When you watch, we talked about this, where it's when you watch the Olympics, you kind of want to see. There's that viral tweet of how would the average person fare in this sort of race, right? And so even in swimming, you have the line of the world record, you can see it. You would be that hypothetical American record, world record line going at that sort of pace, or at least the top end of it. Now it's seeing how these guys approach it, whether they'll be pounding the beers fast and trying to sprint out and make it and keep up with you, or there's a lot of strategy involved. And I think it'd be really interesting to see. So if it's a Beer Mile media type venture for this type of thing, I would suggest upping the prize money, taking yourself out of the running for the prize money, and just, giving it to the top pro, maybe 1, 2, 3, really incentivizing it for multiple people to go head to head. And it happens, I think. I like that.
And I was kind of thinking of the angle of, so say the prize money would be, just throwing it out there, $3,000 for the winner, $2,000 for second, $1,000 for third. But if any of them beat me, it's a $2,000 bonus.
Oh, 100%.
So basically, so someone's still going to walk away with money by doing it, but then also if I beat them, I keep that extra money. But if so I think that's kind of the play that I'm thinking about, and I think I think I could get some, like, I'd be willing to put up my own money as well, Beer Mile Media money, but also the directors of the Beer Mile World Championships, Beer Mile World Classic. I think they would also be willing to put up some money there too. So I think we could accumulate a prize purse.
Oh, 100%. Well, yeah,
and that's really what it is. It has to be end of season, but still they're in shape. So it's like within a week or two of that end of season window.
Yeah, and like really, it does come down to sort of, man, I'm trying to think. It's like keeping it under wraps a little bit, getting the word out, and yeah, I mean the timing of it would just be perfect. Plus, like New York, like it's people would want to stick around and at least like get it done here. Like I think it's possible, very possible.
I like it. Man, I'm excited. I know what I'm training for next year. Let's go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if any of the big marathons.
Well, yeah, I think the winner of Fifth Ave only takes home $1,000. So like,
just make it more than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's what I'm just thinking. It's like if you offer $3,000, like they're gonna be in town for the Fifth Avenue Mile, but really they're gonna be in town for the Beer Mile.
Everybody's sandbagging the Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, they're all going easy so they can save up for the next day for the real.
Now, here's a question for you, just sort of like in because I know like something like Fifth Avenue Mile, like they have the premium in the middle of the race where it's like if you were the first person to cross at 1,000 or 1,200 meters or something like that, then they offer that sort of premium, but you still have to break 4 minutes. What sort of premium could you offer up in a Beer Mile where it's like, could you be the guy leading at 800, but you can't throw up like and finish the race by like a certain time?
Yeah, that's perfect, actually. I think what you just said actually works well because I could incentivize them to go out hard, knowing that the harder they go out, the harder they'll be breathing, and the more likely they will be to vomit. And so it's like, can you be ahead of Chris at 800 and not puke and finish and say finish under 6 minutes or something? Like just finish, but it doesn't have to be super fast. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that because then it'll keep me honest too. Like maybe they'll pull me to a good time because they're like way ahead. On the first lap, my prediction is on the first lap they'd be way ahead of me. They're gonna go out in 56 and be way ahead of me, and then it's just a matter of can they still chug the second, third, fourth beers as well. So that'll be
at their sort of worst. Do you see like what I don't know as much about Beer Mile history, but like what is the fastest Beer Mile when it comes to just like the overall field? Like most guys under 5. Like, do you remember like the race? Because like that could be another thing to like keep tabs on too. Like, what if this is the race that has like 5 or 6 guys under 5?
That would be a record because it's very rare. Even at World Championships, the likelihood of everyone who's broken 5 to do it on that day is really only like maybe 1 in 3 will actually do it because something's going to go up. I mean, especially when you're traveling internationally for a race, it's like your stomach's messed up, whatever. It's too easy to puke. So yeah, absolutely. If there were 5 to 10 guys under 5, that would be a record. Absolutely a record. I think probably 3 to 4 is kind of the standard for a world championship race when you have all the best guys. So
we should also put up like if there are X amount of athletes under 5 minutes, we'll add like another keg to the after party or something.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, I think in New York, like there's like it would just have to be. It'd have to be an open bar, just kind of like logistic wise. Like no one's gonna crowd, especially I don't know about post COVID, like what the house party situation is gonna be like. But hopefully at that point, like we get bars back to the point where like where everyone could go to one and like first round is on Beer Mile Media if you guys break a sort of record and all that kind of stuff. Listen, I'm right with you. I want to see it happen. I'm super excited and hopefully and this would be hard. This would only harm me, but also getting the current world record holder, Corey Belmore, involved as well of Canada, because if it comes down to like, say Eric Jenkins is damn good at chugging the beers and he does actually run a sub 4 mile and chug the beers, then it's not going to be on me to beat him. It's going to be on Corey to beat him because if it comes down to a 4:20 race, that's more Corey style. If it comes down to a sub 4:30 race, maybe I'll be there, but. So I'll get him included as well, and maybe I'll give him some special like, hey, if you win this thing, I'll give you $500 or something. Give him a little bit less because I know he can do it. That's the problem. Well, you know what I'm even thinking? It's like it'll be really funny because I think of Jenkins now as like more of a 5K guy, and like if he didn't get invited to like the Fifth Avenue Mile, like all of a sudden like race organizers and someone sees him in town and is like, what are you doing here? It's like, you're not on the Fifth Avenue Mile field. And it's like, no, I'm here for the bigger race.
Oh, it's gonna be epic.
I'm really looking forward to making this Beer Mile happen, and hopefully we do it in New York City post Fifth Avenue Mile this year. Like I can already picture it. So like let's make that a reality.